Guys, today on People Now, get excited! Beyonce drops a surprise live Coachella album and a documentary.
We go inside People's cover story about the college admissions scandal. What is Lori Loughlin's biggest fear?
We've got some exclusive footage from Val and Jennas Johnson's wedding. It's a Dancing with the Stars match made in heaven.
Tamika Tiny Harris is here talking about the new season of Family Hustle and who initiates sexy time between her and husband T.I.
Plus, Station 19 star Boris Kodjoe is stopping by live, talking all about the Shondaland show, family life, and more.
Also live today, Beth Behrs is here chatting with us about her fun show, The Neighborhood. And would we ever see two broke girls come back? I want it.
I do too. It's all today on People Now. Let's go. Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to People Now. So Jeremy's still out sick today. Poor guy. I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah,
So we're joined by Danya Duchess today. Welcome, Danya. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm great. You're healthy. You're doing
I'm healthy.
well.
I'm not sick. Hopefully I don't get sick by sitting
You won't be. I mean, I'm healthy too, so we're all good here. All right, we're jumping right into today's trending news stories because we have to talk about the Queen, Beyonce.
None other.
Beyonce, the Queen of Pop and surprises, shocked fans by releasing a new live album to go with her new Netflix documentary, Homecoming, which dropped at midnight on Wednesday. The album is also called Homecoming.
Okay, I love me some Queen Bee. Okay, so both the album and the doc capture Beyonce's wildly successful Coachella performance in 2018. Beyonce was the first Black woman to headline the event and paid homage to historically Black universities and their musical and artistic legacies. I mean, this performance was so epic.
I wish I could have been there in person.
I know.
But I've never been to Coachella, so there's no way that was going to happen.
But I lived through that performance. I've watched it so many times.
We all are. Here's what one New York Times critic said about it. They said, "There's not likely to be a more meaningful, absorbing, forceful, and radical performance by an American musician this year or any year soon. It was rich with history, potently political and visually grand, by turns uproarious, rowdy, and lush, a gobsmacking marvel of choreography and musical direction." Kind of makes me want to use the word gobsmacking
literally
in my day-to-day life.
Nobody could have said that more perfectly.
The Netflix doc features never-before-seen footage from rehearsals and all the preparation and dedication that went into the performance, which you know was a lot. In a statement from Netflix, they described the doc as the emotional road from creative concept to cultural movement.
I can't wait to watch this Netflix documentary.
It's gonna be
I feel like everyone's just waiting for it. Meanwhile, Homecoming, the album, is a straightforward recreation of the iconic Coachella performance, now known as Baychella. This 2-hour performance hits 40 of Beyonce's most iconic songs, from Crazy in Love, Sorry, Beyonce, Formation, and so many more.
Do you have a favorite song?
I don't know that I can say that I do.
It's like
every
choosing
single
between
song
your
that she
children.
does. Literally.
Since Coachella, Beyonce and her husband Jay-Z went on a world tour in summer of 2018, released their own surprise album, Everything Is Love. No follow-up has been announced at this time, but if we know anything about these two, it's gonna be a surprise.
Definitely.
They always do the surprise, and I feel like they get more attention because of that. You're like, wait, what? I was sleeping and you guys dropped something?
But that's what keeps us wanting more, because we don't know when it's gonna happen or what's gonna happen, so it's like, wait, what? It's great.
Well, in honor of Beyonce's surprise Homecoming album, we want to see some of your favorite Beyonce gifts.
Tweet us your Beyonce gifts with the hashtag PeopleNow, and you may see them on the show. We'll take a look a little later at those, but now let's move on to this.
All right, so in this week's People cover story, a source is revealing Lori Loughlin is very afraid her daughters will have to testify if she goes to trial.
This is a rough story. Okay, Laughlin and her husband Massimo Giannulli's future is up in the air as they face time in prison for their alleged involvement in the college admissions scandal. But the Fuller House star is most afraid for the couple's daughters, 19-year-old Olivia Jade and 20-year-old Isabella Rose.
So a legal source tells People Lori is very concerned about what a trial will do to her daughters. Laughlin is concerned that a trial would undermine every accomplishment her daughters have in the future and will become a part of their story forever, which is obviously sad. These daughters had nothing to do with it, that they're being drugged down with this.
Totally. It's one of those things that they're going to have to work through as a family unit and themselves to see how they can move forward. It's rough. On April 15th, Laughlin and Giannulli pleaded not guilty to both charges they may face: mail fraud and money laundering conspiracy.
Now, if convicted, they face up to 20 years in prison for each charge. Later in the show, we are breaking down the couple's chances at jail time and why they refused a plea deal.
Now, after nearly 5 decades in the entertainment industry, Lionel Richie is opening up to People on what he's learned about fame, family, and finding happiness. I love this story so much. Lionel starts his days with a moment of gratitude. He tells People, quote, "I'm thankful that I was given the opportunity to be me."
Yeah, from his early days in the hit 70s funk soul band The Commodores to his solo success that kept him at the top of the 80s charts for songs like All Night Long, and how can we forget Endless Love with fellow icon Diana Ross? That was a big
great
moment.
Songs. And it's so like kind of before hard times, but they've just lasted throughout all of these years. And thanks to his latest gig as one of the judges on American Idol alongside Katy Perry and Luke Bryan, Lionel has a new generation of adoring fans.
He's always just so smiley, you know? Like, you look at his face and you smile.
Totally.
He's always having a good time.
Yes.
So still busy at almost 70 years old, Lionel is preparing to drop a new album. His line of home goods, affectionately called Endless Love, and is trying to keep up with his showbiz family. Lionel shares some hard-learned lessons with people.
Okay, first things first, be ready to scrap your plans, he says. When Lionel left for college, he originally went to school to become, get this, an Episcopal priest.
That's kind of crazy.
I was shocked when I saw this. He ended up meeting the Commodores, telling people in part, quote, "The first time I played with the Commodores, a group of girls screamed. Up until that moment, no girl had ever screamed at me. It was right after those girls screamed, I remember saying to myself, I don't think I'm gonna be priest material."
Yeah, I think it's maybe better he didn't go that route.
Pretty accurate description.
Lesson 2, respect your parents, but follow your heart. I mean, look at Lionel with his sweet family there. We'll talk about them in a bit, but Lionel tells people his parents weren't fully on board at first when the Commodores came around. Now, he came from a family and community that was very academic-based. He's grateful in the end that he followed his heart.
It's so
Which I think is hard when your parents are saying one thing and you do another route. Sometimes it backfires on you.
Yes, and I always say too, it's good to have that emotional support from your family because it's hard to do it on your own. Yeah, so it's really great that he says this. His family is also in the biz. Reality star turned fashion mogul turned actress Nicole Richie and model Sofia and Miles Richie. Lionel mentions parenting in the spotlight, saying he takes his kids' ups and downs in stride. From Nicole's struggles with fame to Sofia dating Kourtney Kardashian's ex, Scott Disick, he tells people, I sit still and I let things happen, just as my parents did with me. He admits he's a tough dad, but likes to approach things with a sense of humor, and he also jokes that, quote, with my kids, I know their job is to completely scare me to death. They're doing a great job, by the way.
I don't know how he deals with Sofia dating.
That's how you know he's a great dad, though. Like, my dad would be like, absolutely not. I love you, Dad.
He's very chill. Yeah. For more on lessons from Lionel Richie, pick up a copy of People on newsstands Friday. All right, move on to this.
Yeah, okay, Tiger Woods might have just won the Masters, but a source is revealing that the pro golfer thinks about his sex scandal every day. Woods mounted an epic comeback to win his 5th Masters, but the source says the scandal is always there in the back of his mind.
And now, according to the source, Woods doesn't like to talk about it. It's painful to him, but he, quote, persevered and made himself into a better man because of it. Now, in November 2009, Woods crashed his Cadillac Escalade outside of his Florida mansion. It was such a big story when this broke.
I know, it's crazy that the time frame, too. Okay, so his then-wife, Elin, used 2 golf clubs to shatter the rear windows of the vehicle, and she told police that she had broken the windows to help rescue an incoherent Woods from the vehicle, but there was widespread speculation that she had broken the windows after an argument.
So you have to be so mad.
So mad, yeah.
The seemingly minor traffic accident ignited a firestorm of controversy. Dozens of women soon came forward, alleging that they had sexual relationships with the married golfer. Within months, Woods had lost most of his sponsors. His golf game began to suffer. Before the scandal, he was the #1 ranked golfer in the world.
Yeah.
And he plummeted in the rankings, reaching an all-time low of number 1,199 by December of 2017. So he plummeted fast.
Yeah, that is a big drop in numbers too. Okay, so the source telling people, quote, he lost everything, adding it was a really, really rough time for him for a really long time. And he really found out who his friends were, and he was left with a lot of scars.
But things have improved for the golfer. He and his ex, Elin, share custody of the kids. They work well together, according to the source, with no real friction. That's great to hear. Woods told reporters after his big win that it means the world to him to have his kids' love and support, especially being there with him. His son Charlie and daughter Sam were there to witness his triumphant return on Sunday, a first major title in 11 years.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack right there.
Oh,
like the scandal, but that shows that Elin's a good person too.
Full circle. He's there with his family.
He's changed. The source adding he's a completely different person than he was in 2009. He was an overgrown boy back then, and now he's a man. Yeah. It's nice to see that.
I know a lot of overgrown boys.
It's not Tiger anymore, though.
We move on to this. It's official. Dancing with the Stars pros Val Schmirkovsky and Jenna Johnson tied the knot in a romantic ceremony overlooking the ocean in Rancho Palos Verdes, California on Saturday. The couple said their I do's in front of 200 of their closest friends and family. Look at this video.
It's so cute. She looks stunning. People has exclusive footage of the couple's first look, and they look so in love. Doesn't make you want to tear up just watching it. Okay, Jenna wore 2 dresses for the wedding. For the ceremony, she wore a beautiful custom-made long-sleeved Vera Wang gown with a slight mermaid silhouette and topped it with a custom-made crystal headpiece and a long veil. And for the reception, she changed into something a little more fun.
And then my second dress, I wanted something that I could dance in and party in and be, you know, free to move in. And so I actually went to Kleinfeld, and they helped me pick out a dream dress for me. And it's a Tony Ward dress, and it has these cute cap sleeves, also with a high neck, and it has these crazy beads all the way down. It is everything.
Gorgeous. And of course, there was a little Dancing with the Stars reunion, but the duo, who is used to performing in front of millions on the show, opened up to people exclusively about doing a slow, not rehearsed dance together. Take a look.
That was kind of really big for me, I know. I just want to slow dance with my husband for the first time as husband and wife, and I can't imagine having to like think of choreography or like counts. So I think everyone expects this like big production of a dance, but we're just gonna slow dance like everyone else.
This is a moment in our life, and in our life, not everything is choreographed, nor should it be choreographed. It should be a genuine moment when we're dancing because we love each other and we're married finally, and we get to enjoy this moment together.
Makes me almost tear up.
I know, it's so sweet. I also love that they kept it like that.
Yeah, I've interviewed both of them, and seeing them together on their wedding day, it just makes me so happy for
We
them.
really need tissues, you guys. You're legit tearing up.
I'm tearing up. Love
so
is maybe
cute.
real. All right, coming up, we are breaking down Lori Loughlin's chances of getting jail time as a result of her alleged involvement in the college admissions scandal. Plus, Station 19 star Boris Kodjoe will be here live on our couch, dishing on the show, and we are putting him in the hot seat.
I want to start my career. You can't tell me do it this way, and I want to do it this way, because
First
this
of all,
is my
I can
stuff.
tell you what I want to tell you. I am your mother. You are not grown.
I'm fighting for what I want, and I'm finally
Keep
getting it.
fighting, young man. Keep fighting.
Wow, drama. That's a little teaser of the new season of VH1's T.I. and Tiny Friends and Family Hustle. It premiered this Monday. There's a lot to unpack here. You got T.I. and Tamika, and they're trying to manage their family, their rowdy friends. It's a lot. Well, lucky for us, Tamika Tiny Harris was just at People Now. We had to get an update on the fam. What is new this season?
We have a little baby now. She's 3 years old. She's
Beautiful.
running the house. Thank you. She's like the queen of the house. She runs everybody. Everybody's like so in love with her. Her siblings, Deja and Damani, they love them. Damani just dropped some new music. So Messiah, everybody's growing. Everybody's growing. You're gonna see them going into their different directions, and me trying to pull everybody back to still be this family, you know, and make sure we have that family quality time.
I love seeing the pictures of the kids. Family time, very important to Tamika, and the fam has been through a lot. She and T.I. have been through some rough waters with their marriage. It's been all over the news. Tamika has filed for divorce before, so I had to ask her what got them through the tougher times.
We have a lot of love for each other, you know, and that love never really goes anywhere. You know, we go through things like, you know, we're just in the public eye. We don't go through no more than any other couple goes through, you know. It's a lot of people that go through the same kind of things, and it's just not nothing to talk about because no one knows, you know. It's not in the public eye. But we get through it with just love and just trying to get a better understanding.
Is there anything that you do to regain trust, like ground rules, or like, is there any sort of thing that's kind of helped you over the years?
I think counseling helps. It was a big thing that, you know, in my mind, I always think like, when you go to counseling, like you're crazy or you need help, but it's really not that kind of thing. Like it's really a great thing to have someone that you can sit down and talk to, that's someone that's on the outside that can tell you how to channel your feelings in a different light to help you guys, you know, mesh better. You know, I have a doctor, and he was named Dr. J. I love her. She's like the bomb. And I would recommend anyone to her because she does not pick sides. She just tell it like it is. And I love her because I'm pretty much always right.
What's the saying? Happy wife, happy life.
Happy life,
I think that
yes.
applies here. All right, stick around. I played a fun little game with Tamika called T.I. or Tiny, where I find out who's most likely to spoil the kids, who's most likely to initiate sexy time, and more. Stay tuned for that a little later in the show. It's like my favorite question.
I wanna
these days.
know.
I know. All right, as we mentioned earlier in the show, in this week's People Cover story, a source is revealing Lori Loughlin is very afraid her daughters will have to testify if she goes to trial.
The actress and her husband, Massimo Giannulli, have been charged with honest services, mail, and wire fraud, along with the recent money laundering charges.
Yeah, so the couple have pled not guilty to the charges, with a source telling People that the couple is outraged that they are being called cheaters.
It's gonna be good. Okay, joining us now, we have People Senior TV editor Brianne Heldman and People Senior writer Emily Strom.
So let's get right into this. I mean, we've been tracking along. This is all very fascinating. They're outraged that they're being called cheaters. Are they being delusional here? Brianne, walk us through this.
They are being a bit delusional here. The reality is they paid this man, Rick Singer, up to allegedly paid Rick Singer up to $500,000 to help it look like their two daughters played for the crew team at USC when neither had ever rowed in their life.
Yeah, I mean, especially her story, different than Felicity Huffman. The fact that there was pictures and everything involved is so crazy. A source revealed they were offered a plea deal that would have led to a sentence of 18 to 24 months before the money laundering charges came in. So why did they refuse the deal, Emily?
You know, they, from the beginning, didn't want to do any deals that would have resulted in jail time. So, you know, they turned this down, hoping that maybe this would all go away. Of course, it didn't. They were slapped with the additional money laundering charge that really raised the stakes. You know, now they're looking at even more prison time, and they would have been better off just accepting the deal in the first place.
They honestly thought that they were going to get away with it.
They were very nervous about pleading guilty and doing jail time and the effect that that would then have on their daughters.
Do you also think that they chose not to plead guilty because they really believe that they're not guilty, so that they're like, if I take a plea deal, then that's proving that I'm guilty, kind of thing?
With this additional charge, they are definitely shaken up. Our sources say that Lori's been driving around in circles and seems a little out of it. They are definitely, the reality of it is starting to hit them that maybe they've done something wrong, but I think when the initial indictment came down, they really didn't believe that they had done anything illegal.
Oh, wow. Okay, a legal source tells People that the couple resisted any agreements that would result in jail time, and it seems like their decision to decline the deal seems to have backfired. Now, Brianne, why was that the only choice left for them to not plead guilty, though? To plead not guilty?
Ultimately, they needed to submit a plea in some way, shape, or form. So it either had to be guilty or not guilty. And at this stage, if they had pled guilty, it would have ultimately then immediately gone to sentencing, and they were facing up to 40 years prison time, 20 for each of the two charges. So to plead not guilty really is just buying time to continue the negotiations.
All right, Emily, what are their chances of avoiding jail time? Is it possible?
It's unlikely. You know, at this point, all signs are pointing to, you know, at least some jail time. It would have been a lot less had they accepted the initial plea deal that Felicity accepted. So now the stakes are higher, and they're probably going to spend some time away.
They've gotten themselves into a pickle. That day on April 3rd, when Lori was heading into the Boston courtroom, she appeared pretty upbeat. She was even signing autographs, which was so shocking to me. But her career has definitely taken a hit. She was cut from the Hallmark show When Calls the Heart. Brianne, what kind of career does she have left after this?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, Hallmark, just as soon as that indictment came out, they cut ties so completely. They stopped airing When Calls the Heart so that they could re-edit her out of it. The show comes back on May 5th, and they've renewed it for another season, but none of it will have Lori in it. She played a pivotal role on that show, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And then Fuller House hasn't gone into production on its final season. She was not a full-time cast member, so I would anticipate she will not be showing up there either. And I don't think people are going to want to touch her with a 10-foot pole.
No, I don't think so
Stay
either.
far away from that. Her daughter Olivia, who is a social media influencer, lost a bunch of partnerships as well, including Sephora, and their other daughter Bella just deleted her Instagram account. So Emily, what do we know about the relationship right now between Lori and her daughters?
You know, we have one source that says that, of course, things are strained, you know, after everything that happened. But another source says that that's simply not the case, you know, that their relationship is, you know, they're still a tight-knit family, and that as difficult as this situation is, that's not going to change.
Now, Brianne, what about Lori and her husband? How's this impacted them? How are they doing with all this?
Well, we are also hearing conflicting reports about some strain there. But ultimately, these two are going through something major. I don't know how any marriage wouldn't have moments of strain when you're facing something like this. They right now are laying low. They're mostly staying home. They did go to church for Palm Sunday this past Sunday, and were photographed smiling and seeming very united.
Okay.
Okay, now Emily, why do you think that the couple was so obsessed with getting their daughters into USC?
You know, we have a source that says that USC became Lori's obsession. You know, it was all that she could see for her daughters. And while they appeared like the perfect family on the outside, you know, it was still difficult to get into these schools. So Lori wanted to take, you know, this route because it was a guaranteed way in, even though it was illegal.
Do we know if the daughters, I mean, well, the daughters knew that this was illegal, right? So you'd assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
They knew they weren't on the crew team. That's why it's so unbelievable that this has happened, especially in a world where you can give donations and that helps out to get into schools. Yeah. So why did they choose this illegal route?
So Lori is someone who like really wants to get something done when she wants to get something done. She's got a very type A personality, and she was told by someone in her circle about Rick Singer and about how he gets people into college, and this seemed like a sure deal versus doing something like the donation, so she took it.
All right, well, we'll be tracking along for sure.
Okay, Emily, Brianne, thank you guys so much for breaking it down for us. We really appreciate you being here.
Ricki Lake is exclusively opening up about finding joy after major tragedy in her life. The former talk show host lost her ex-husband Christian Evans to suicide about 2 years ago and has found the strength to move forward after his death.
Though Lake is feeling much better now, the mom of two revealed to us that she struggled with her own depression for a while following Christian's suicide. Take a look.
I went into like darkness. I understood depression just so as far as living with Christian and seeing it every day. I never knew what it felt like to not be able to get up and out of bed, you know? And yeah, I got to experience that, true depression, you know? And I wasn't suicidal. I wouldn't describe it as that because I have two children and that would never be my choice. But there were days I did not want to get up.
Through therapy and journaling, Lake was able to get back up again and finally be at a place where she feels happy. She even found love with a man named Jeffrey Scult.
Lake revealed to us how excited she is about her relationship and how she's taking it one step at a time. Watch.
In the case of, you know, Jeffrey and I, we're brand new and we're having so much fun and he's awesome and I'm awesome and we don't know what this looks like long term, you know, we're just in it and I believe in love. I believe in, you know, I believe in second chances. You know.
And at 50 years old, Lake is truly living her best life. Here's what she has to say about her newfound happiness.
I'm so much better at this age than I've ever been in my life. Like, I'm the best me. And that's what I told Jeff when we first got together. I'm like, just so you know, you're meeting the best me I've ever been. And with the exception of like wanting to lose 20 pounds, you know, that's the only thing. Like, I really I love the work I'm doing. I mean, I wouldn't trade a thing.
Moms can do fun stuff too. Ooh, I know. We can go to Color Me Mine and paint some ceramic swans. You used to love that, remember? Ooh, we can go crazy and paint the feathers purple.
That's a clip from next week's season finale of The Neighborhood. We are so happy to have one of the show stars here with us, Beth Behrs. Hello.
Hi.
How are you liking New York? We were just talking. We have this love for theater.
The theater is my main, and eating, my favorite here. Those are my two New York musts.
What's your go-to meal?
Yeah.
There's a few. And I've only been able to hit up, well, I'm probably only gonna get to hit up one when I'm here, but Isodi, the lasagna at Isodi in the West Village is my favorite. It's all Italian, Emilio Bellatos in Soho, Il Buco.
Well, if you're in New York, it's the time for that.
I know.
Let's talk about your show. You have the finale coming up, also been renewed for another season, which is amazing.
We're so excited.
Anything you're hoping you get to do in season 2?
I just want more adventures with Tashina Arnold, who plays Tina. She's truly like become one of my dearest friends, and we're like, I think our characters have become sort of like a Lucy and Ethel, like always getting into trouble. And so I'm really excited to see how that plays out over the next year. I think it'll be really fun.
Speaking of Tashina, you guys have such a great, funny, hilarious
I
cast.
love
You have
her.
Max Greenfield, Cedric the Entertainer, Tashina Arnold. And so what's downtime like on your set? Do you guys prank each other and stuff?
It's not even like pranks. We just have way too much fun. We're always laughing. We're always like giving each other crap and goofing off. Like, it's truly one of the most fun work environment. Like, I like don't even say it's work because it's so much fun. And Cedric and Max, you know, I had worked with them years ago. Cedric was on Two Broke Girls and Max and I did a movie together, and I knew how genuine and warm and kind both of them were. So then to be able to work with them every day for 22 episodes has been amazing.
Bonus, right?
Bonus, yeah.
What's something about one of your cast members that we wouldn't know that would surprise us?
I gave Max his first guitar, and he's been trying to be like Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born, and he's been taking guitar lessons, and he's getting so much better than me, and it's really bothering me.
Wait, why did you give him a guitar? Just for...
He wanted to learn guitar, and my husband is a guitar player, like as a hobby, he's an actor, we played guitar, and we had so many guitars, and like I don't play that much, and so I was like, oh, for Christmas I'm gonna get him a guitar, or give him one of my like pretty Taylor guitars.
Wow, nice friend to have.
Yeah, you
right?
guys have to do a duet.
I know. We're planning. We were gonna do a duet at the wrap party and it just didn't happen. So maybe next season.
It's gonna
He
happen.
did play and sing my guitar on the show. He sang his little camping song and holding the guitar I gave him. So, yeah.
If you could have any actor come and join you for the next season, who would it be?
Oh my goodness. Oh. Maybe like an old school, like one I grew up on, like Carol Burnett or Julie Andrews would be so cool. Like maybe like Julie Andrews plays my character's grandma or something. That would be really,
that's a
cool.
great.
You know what? Sometimes we have people on the show, they say it, they will it into existence.
I'm gonna will it, I'm gonna secret this
it's
and
gonna
put it out in the
happen.
universe. Hope it comes back.
It totally will, I can feel it. You starred on another CBS sitcom for 6 seasons.
Yes.
Two Broke Girls, we all love that show, we were chatting about it earlier.
Aww.
And the show never had a proper finale though.
Tell me
so
about
how
it.
likely do you think that we'll get some sort of closure, finale, and like wrap up
Kat
down
and
the
I
line?
wish, I mean, we hope. We had no idea it was gonna be canceled. So the writers had no idea. So there was no proper ending. And I think like both of us feel like that story needed to end in a more positive, like I wanted them to have success and like it to be like they're on their way as female entrepreneurs, you know? But I don't know, maybe a reunion show in like 20 years.
It's the time of the reboot.
It
All
really
the shows
is.
are coming back, so
Yeah.
I feel like it could definitely happen.
We're gonna put that out there.
What do you
Yeah, put
think?
that out
What do you
there,
think
too.
your characters are up to right now? Are they still broke? Are they living their best lives?
As we left it, Max is getting married, so the wedding would have been fun to play on the show. And my character, I always saw her like ending as like the CEO of some massive corporation that like just blows up out of nothing.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they go on Shark Tank and they just like completely like become so rich. That would be awesome. Yeah.
I would love that.
Wow.
Now, switching gears, speaking of awesome and being rich, you posted on your Instagram that you were like on a private plane.
Yeah, but that wasn't my plane, honey. That was like CBS is like going to the ACMs.
Oh, we have questions.
Oh, tell me. Yeah,
We have
it's
questions.
An epic group,
yeah, we
right?
saw that you were with your mom, Dennis Quaid, Wilmer Valderrama, Jay Hernandez, and Nikolaj CosterWaldau. What were you guys doing together?
It's a random group.
Yeah, like we want to know.
I know, I was like the only girl. We were all presenting at the Country Music Awards, and so it was like the network helped us get there by that. And honestly, I started the videos because my mom was like, "Go get a video of Dennis Quaid." Like, so I started making these videos, and then Wilmer and I have been friends, so he like chimed in, and then everybody was just doing bits like Quaid's on a plane, like Snake's on a plane. Like,
Yeah.
we were like, it was like actually like more fun on the plane ride than like the whole day was just the plane ride. We were all like, should we do this every year? Like, should we have like a reunion plane like dinner? Because we all like really loved each other and it was
I was
so
at
much
the
fun.
ACM Awards, but I didn't get to interview you, which I was bummed about. But I did get to be there for Dennis Quaid. He seems like he's a pretty rowdy guy.
I mean,
did he get pretty
was,
wild?
We had to stop him from like, I think he really wanted to fly that plane. We were like, no, Quaid, you can't fly that
He was
plane
trying
right
to
now. Okay, yeah, Nikolaj.
Oh yeah.
By the way, I was like with Jamie Lannister. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have 2 hands. Like, it's so weird. Game of Thrones is the only show where I feel like I can't separate actors from characters.
Totally.
I don't, no other shows, and I hate when people do that to me. They're like, Caroline, or like Gemma, and you're like, no, I'm Beth. That's not
Like, I'm my own person.
Yeah, but then I'm like,
What did he do it
God,
to Jamie Lannister?
No, Game of Thrones is really good though, so we all want to know. Also, did you get any spoilers from
I got a lot of
him?
spoilers. So we bonded over horses because I love horses.
I love
and they
horses.
ride a lot of horses. So I got
horses,
like a really great like BTS story of like who's better at horseback riding. And then I got like he had like a crazy intense story about horses that they hadn't set and he loves them. And so I got more like my own nerdy version of spoilers about like the horses.
Yeah,
but
no,
not about the
I
show.
grew up showing horses, so I would.
Oh.
Who is the worst at riding horses?
I can't. It's
Come
a secret.
on.
No, I can't reveal the spoiler here. Then we're friends. He's not gonna be friends with me now.
I know.
That's true. All right. Let's talk about this. Completely different topic here. You tweeted some pretty strong feelings last month about the college admission scandal. I mean, we've been talking about this a lot.
I'm sure.
On our show. You're talking about it. It's in People magazine this week. I mean, why did that strike such a chord with you?
I mean, my parents are both educators, so for me, education and school and working so hard to, you know, do my best, try my best, and then college, you know, I mean, I went to UCLA like on my own merit, and I just like, I think it's hard for the kids that like could have been in those spots who worked their butts off to get there, and at the same time, I mean, you know, I don't know. It's hard. Yeah.
Have you been tracking along, and do you have thoughts on the pleas?
I actually have not been tracking along. I kind of was like, yeah, I wish that I'd gone to kids who really deserve to be there, but
it's frustrating.
Yeah, totally. And you and your husband, Mad Men actor Michael Gladys,
Yes.
got married last July. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you guys know what you'll be doing to celebrate your 1-year anniversary?
We don't know yet because of our schedule. Oh, that's cute. It's like from a Mad Men ending. We don't know our schedules yet, so we hope to go back, hopefully, to where we got married, which is in Wyoming, and sort of relive it if we can. We're definitely gonna watch like our wedding video that we haven't really gotten to like sit down and watch since. But yeah, it goes by so fast.
Did you save the cake?
We're actually, we forgot to do that, but
people
we,
do that?
they
Yeah,
really do.
that, yeah.
And we actually, I think, are gonna have, we loved our cake. It was like a lavender honey cake, and I think we're gonna have her make another one and send it so that we can do like
pretty much
that.
the same
I
thing.
know.
I'm getting married in June. I totally get it.
I know. Oh,
I get it. Yeah.
Any advice for her wedding day? She's getting married.
You know, I have to say, like, and they were making comments that I was like the most chill bride they'd ever seen. I think like, for example, I was obsessed with the flowers. It was like my favorite part of planning. I didn't even get to see them because you see the person you love and you walk down the aisle and it all goes, any stress, or at least for me, that weekend when everyone was in town, I just didn't enjoy every moment. It goes by so quickly, so savor it.
Every moment.
People told me that too. And then I'm like, yeah. And then it was like, it's over. I mean, because you're also just in bliss. I mean, it's the best night of your life, I hope. I hope everything goes well. It rained on my wedding day. I was like,
Good luck.
Good luck. It is what it is.
Beth Behrs, we're gonna play a little game with you called Beth Shares.
Oh,
Do you love
goodness.
it? Do you
I
hate
love it. Okay.
We have some pretty revealing questions. We want you to share your answer with us as quickly as possible. Got the music going.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Okay, Beth, what's your favorite reality show to watch?
Bachelor.
Oh.
Did you watch the last one with Colton?
Did I?
Yeah.
I met them. Did you meet them at the ACM
I
carpet?
did.
Because I did, and he took a photo with me, and I love Cassie. I love them both. I was like more nerding out about them than the ACM country music stuff.
Amazing. All right, this is a two-part question. What is your must-have beach item?
Book.
Okay.
Or Kindle. Yeah.
And go-to summer outfit.
A summer dress.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big pants person because it's so hot in LA in the summer. It's hot here too, but yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Do you have a celebrity hall pass / crush?
Ooh. Gosh, that's hard. Mine has always been Ryan Reynolds, but I feel like I'm kind of over that. Okay. So I don't have a new one. I've always loved Paul Rudd. I think he's really funny.
Does your husband have one?
Yeah, his is Margot Robbie, which is like, I'm like, legit though, we're actors. Like, you could legit work with her, and then I'm gonna be like, oh,
you're like,
you know,
so paranoid.
I think she's married too, right? So I think it'll be fine.
It's okay. Next question. What was your Two Broke Girls co-star Kat Dennings' most hilarious on-set quirk?
Oh my gosh, her Christopher Walken impression.
I want to hear that.
Especially when she was drunk. That was even better.
Do you have a version of it that you could do for us?
No, I can't do it well for her. She'll have to come on and you'll have to
We'll ask her about it.
Okay, Two Broke Girls was created by Michael Patrick King.
Yes.
Did you ever talk to him about the plot of Sex and the City 3?
Did I?
Oh.
Oh yeah, the Sex and the City 3. They were devastated. I mean, we all were. Really wanted it to happen. Maybe it still will. Okay. I still have hope. But I thought you were gonna ask, did you ever ask him who I am? Like, am I a Carrie? Am I a Charlotte?
Oh, who are you?
By the way, Kat and I, that was the first thing we did on like day one of Two Broke Girls. And he was like, I can't tell you. Like, you're your own person. We were like, no! I'm like, I know I'm a Charlotte.
You are a Charlotte. All right, Beth, thank you so much for stopping by. Everyone, make sure to watch her next Monday, April 22nd, on the season finale of The Neighborhood on CBS at 8/7 Central. All right, in this week's issue of People, we're taking an exclusive look at Ariana Grande's chic stage style. The pop star's Sweetener World Tour kicked off on March 18th. Her stylist, Law Roach, is revealing the inspiration behind her concert looks.
So what are the must-haves for Ariana on tour? Well, Roach says a ponytail, crop top, A-line miniskirt, and over-the-knee boots. I'm totally inspired by Ari
you
today,
are.
according to him. And this is the DNA of an Ariana look, and she's made these elements iconic. So when the two teamed up, he says he took her authentic blueprint and made it fresh and elevated.
I mean, she always looks so fierce. So let's break down some of the looks and the inspiration behind them. First up, the warrior woman. Here, Roach says he wanted to deliver a range of warrior princess armor for Ari. Very amazing. It's bold, it's powerful, still has that Ariana Grande flair to it.
She looks like she's ready to go kick some butt.
Yeah, she does.
I love it. Now next, the vampy Versace look. Look at those boots. Are you kidding me? Okay, Roach tells people that every single shoe she wears is a platform, and to this day, he has never heard her complain. She's a trooper. He goes on to say that he calls her feet magic feet, which is so cute. She's better than I am.
Oh, I complain all the time.
I'm like a chunky heel girl all the way.
No, we all know Ariana's love for throwbacks, thanks to her 90s themed video for Thank You Next. So Roach did not hesitate to pull inspiration from the 90s cult classic Clueless. Inspired by main character Cher, Roach worked with Versace to create this plaid look. He says the team at Versace had someone fly out just to personally deliver this piece. Hey, when Ariana Grande wants you, you go above and beyond.
Totally. I feel like that's a great Halloween costume look too. Okay, last but not least, Ariana is going fairy tale chic. We're calling this one The Magic of Tinkerbell. Roach knows Ariana's love for the Disney icon, so he decided on this two-piece pink design paired with white boots. Oh, I can't talk today. Roach says Ariana's really into fantasy movies and characters, and this is the ultimate whimsical look. He says all he wants to do is call her a fairy princess, and so do we.
Now, he also styles Zendaya, Tiffany Haddish, Anne Hathaway, so very impressive list here. He says Ariana is very aware of what she looks good in, but she also gives him the creative freedom to dream.
Overall, he says he wants Ariana to look absolutely feminine and super powerful. He also says, quote, I want girls to see her and realize they too can become iconic by staying authentic to who they are.
I mean, I don't know if I can be as iconic as Ariana Grande, but maybe I'll throw on some boots or something.
You just gotta pull her out from inside.
All right, now we're back with Tamika Harris and putting her to the test. So I gave her a few scenarios and wanted to know who's most likely to, her or her hubby, T.I., who she also calls Tip. Take a look. Who's most likely to spoil the kids, give them what they want?
Me.
Who is most likely to have more pet peeves about the other person?
It may be him.
Yeah.
It's him. He's bothered by you not answering the phone every time you call. You may ask him a question too many different ways, and he feels like it's the same question. It depends on what day it is.
Who's most likely to initiate sexy time?
Me.
Yeah? Oh.
Well, both of us. We'll get into some sex quick when I get into some sexy time.
Who is most likely to have your own songs on the sexy time playlist?
Tip. He puts the music together. Like, that's his thing. The playlist and all of that. Having it, that's his thing.
And it's his own music sometimes?
Sometimes.
Baby, you can have whatever you like. So, I was thinking you and I should sit and talk together. Not on shift. Sometime when we won't be interrupted by calls all day.
Oh, you mean over coffee or something?
Sure, that could work.
Ooh, that's a clip from Shondaland's thrilling firefighting ABC hit drama Station 19. Boris Kodjoe plays Captain Sullivan. He joins us now. Boris, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You liked that little sexy music and everything?
I loved how they put that sexy music behind the outfit.
I mean, it's a
You gotta make your voice deep
clip.
when you say it.
That's right.
Now, you had always wanted to be on a Shondaland show, so here you are. You get on this show as a series regular. What's that moment when you hit set and when you're nervous? How do they welcome you?
Well, I wanted to be in the Shonda family for a long time. I've been a huge fan of hers. I think she's changed TV fundamentally, the way she's, been inclusive and introduced diversity to what we're watching every day. And sort of made it more like the world really looks like. So I've been a fan, and when I stepped on the set, it was instant family. I mean, everybody is very, very cool. They're really lovely people, and it's just a privilege and a blessing when you work with people who you actually like. So her and Stacey McKee, who created the show, they've done a great job.
That's awesome. Now, Captain Sullivan is a stickler for the rules. Are you the same in real life?
I gotta admit, I am a stickler for rules.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm very German. What's that?
I want to know all of the above. Is there any rule that you would never break?
Wow. There's a lot of rules I would never break. I'm just, I'm half German, half Ghanaian. There's not two more disciplined cultures in the world. I mean, my he was so African, and my mother's so German. So they were disciplinarians, both of them. And we had very strict structures in our household. You had to do your chores, you had to take care of your homework, you had to make sure that you're on point, and also your manners. Very important. The way you eat. Don't put your hand behind you under the table. So I raised my kids that way, and I think kids need structure. So I am the bad cop. Definitely. And yeah, there's rules, absolutely.
I totally get it. My family's from Haiti.
There you go.
I feel like have I done anything wrong so far? Did I break any rules?
No, it is the same thing. If you sit at the
I'll
table
let you
with your
know.
knife and
Okay,
fork,
please let me know. I don't want to break any rules or proper etiquette or anything doing an interview. So we're going to ask for all the shippers out there. Everyone loves a good love story. What's going on with Captain Sullivan and Andy? Any romance? Could this happen? Would you like it to go that direction?
They had this traumatic experience that they shared when their aid car tumbled into the ravine. And they were near death. So that sort of connected them in a way. right? And ever since then, they've been sort of exploring their friendship further, and now we're getting to the point where the entire world wants to know what's gonna go down, what's gonna happen. And as you can tell by the music in the background, they're dropping hints. So without saying too much, I think their friendship is gonna develop further, and see what else the fire will bring.
That's the bomb chicka wow.
It's happening. It's going down.
So earlier this season, also we learned about Captain Sullivan's tragic past, about how he lost his wife, and that's basically the reason why he's so closed off. So he also wants a baby. We know this too.
He wants a baby.
He does. Is that a close source that we know that you don't?
You telling me something that I don't know.
He wants a baby.
He does want a baby? That's okay.
Okay.
All right. He wants a baby.
Yeah, okay, he wants a baby.
Yes.
You guys heard it here first. Now, looking ahead in the show, what are your hopes for him?
A baby?
A baby? A girl or a boy?
Both. A girl and a boy, yeah. No, I think this show is so much fun, and we're fighting fires every single episode. But there's a lot of personal stuff that's going on at the same time, so the stakes are high. We're doing a bunch of crossover episodes with Grey's Anatomy, which is always exciting to go on that set.
Yeah, I was gonna say, talk to me about the crossover episode. I know there's one coming up. Someone from the
May
Station
2nd.
19 crew is gonna end up in the hospital. So how does this affect your character?
There was a huge fire at a coffee factory, and one of us went down, and now he or she's fighting for their life at Grey's Memorial. So that's how the crossover episode starts. So you got to stay tuned to see what happens, but it's a lot of drama. The stakes are really, really high, and one person may or may not pass on to the afterlife.
Wow.
But I don't know. Like I didn't know about the baby.
Yeah.
So you never know.
I mean, that's got to be really cool doing the crossover episodes, right?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, I've been a fan of Grey's Anatomy for, 30 years now? So, and Debbie Allen, who runs the show, is a really, really close friend of ours. She's like my second mom, so I love being on that set.
We were talking earlier, and we were like, we got to give you a Mick nickname. I was like, I think we should dub you McFoyne. Like fine, but with an O-I, McFoyne.
O-I, McFoyne, I love that.
You haven't been thinking about that.
You heard it here. McFoyne, okay,
Yes,
okay.
it has a ring to it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have it embroidered on my suit.
Right on the inside.
Especially tailored for McFoyne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the Full Circle Festival that you founded. It's a trip back to Ghana to honor your ancestry, and you invited big stars like Michael B. Jordan, Idris Elba, Naomi Campbell, just to name a few. What was the defining moment for you that you decided that this is something you needed to do?
You know, actually, it was a trip that we took. My father's from Ghana, so we went there as kids a lot. So I took my family along with Bozoma St. John's family, who was, a marketing guru, who's from Ghana as well. So we went together, and the president actually asked us to host a homecoming event commemorating the year of return, which is 2019. Celebrating 400 years since the beginning of slave trade. So the whole point of this was to bring back a bunch of members of the diaspora to retrace the steps of our ancestors and reconnect with our emotional heritage. So we set out to change the narrative about not just Ghana, but the continent as a whole, because traditionally in the past decades, Africa has been sort of painted as a place of war and famine and mass exodus. And that's not the whole story. Africa is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. There's thousands of different cultures, different languages. The food is amazing. The people are incredible. There's so many sites and historic sites. So we wanted to tell that story. And what better way than to invite a bunch of friends to go and experience it firsthand. But then what happened was, not only did we change the narrative about Africa, people who went automatically went through this transformative experience, and now they have a different way of thinking about themselves. So they changed the narrative about themselves.
Did you imagine that it would be as big as it was? Like when you thought
No,
this would...
I had no idea that it was going to be this big, but it just sort of, it encouraged us to open it up to everybody and get as many people over there as possible, because it's such a fundamentally needed trip to undertake for members of the diaspora to find out who are our ancestors, what's the history of our culture, where did we come from. people here say, well, I'm from South Carolina. That's really not the case, right? It started way before that. And we're not descendants of slaves. We're descendants of enslaved Africans, which is a huge difference.
I love that
right? So we
clarification.
are, yes, we are descendants of survivors. And that should infuse you with a bunch of pride and a light around you and confidence that I think is necessary for people to experience.
I think that's amazing. Obviously, your culture is very important to you. What traditions and parts of your culture do you want to instill most in your children?
Well, my children are my legacy. So I'm very committed and passionate about teaching them about their forefathers, their ancestry, whether it's the German side or the Ghanaian side. I think it's important for people to know where they came from in order to know where they're going. And instead of engaging too much with social media, I always keep telling my kids, I said, look, you're not going to be on social media interacting with people you don't know until you know how to interact with people you care about. I think that's very important nowadays for our kids who are so lost in all these weird influences and distractions from social media and the internet as a whole. I think we need to spend time being present in our kids' lives and teaching them about where they came from, and that's what I'm trying to do.
It's so important. And staying on the family theme, you've been married to the beautiful Nicole Ari Parker for 14 years.
Hey!
You guys are couple goals.
Look at that.
Saying couple goals.
Come on.
Obviously, you guys are having fun, but
Yeah.
marriage takes a lot of work. What's your #1 tip to a long-lasting marriage? Also, she's getting married soon. So.
Whoa, when are you getting married?
In June.
In June,
So
where?
what's your advice? In Connecticut.
In Connecticut?
Yeah, that's where
okay. Summer wedding, that's nice. Okay, advice. This is a book, really. There's a lot that goes into it. I think what's very important is that you look at a relationship, a committed relationship or a marriage, like you would look at anything else that you want to be successful in. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort and commitment, discipline. I think in marriage, you have to water the flower every day, right? You have to find out what your fiance likes, and you have to cater to that. Just like he learns your dance steps and figures out what you like. And we have to spend time around that. We have to understand that love is an action word. It's not necessarily an emotion, right? When I tell you I love you, there's nothing you get from that unless I show you what that means. So we have to take action. We have to take initiative in loving each other. And we also can't run for the hills at the first sight of adversity or challenges. Like my wife and I, we go through the fire together, right? And we're not scared to face each other's demons and to see each other's dark sides. We embrace it, we grow through it, we do it together, and I think that's another very important aspect of staying together. That you're not afraid to. I think you should give each other space to make mistakes.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
That's such great advice. All of that. Andrea and I are just like,
Yeah.
It's so good. Now, what I need
No,
you
but
to
there's also very specific, I mean, for women especially, a lot of women make a huge mistake when they fall in love with the potential. To see a man and they see what the man could become or what he could be like, and then they fall in love with that rather than the man that stands in front of them, and that
100%.
causes a lot of trouble.
All right, it's great advice. Now, before you go, we're gonna put you in the hot seat. Can't let you go without doing that. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
All right, so you're gonna spin the wheel. If you land on hot, you're gonna get a super easy softball question. If you land on hottest, things are gonna get steamy.
Okay.
Are you ready? So spin the wheel. That's a pretty good spin there. What have we got? Hot. Easy question.
Easy breezy.
All right. If you could come back as any animal, what would it be?
Any animal. I would come back as a dolphin.
Okay.
Okay.
Seems
Nice
to me
life.
that's the happiest, most joyous animal.
And they're smart. They're
All right.
Very smart.
All right, we're gonna keep this going. Spin again. What do we got? Another hot one.
Easy
All
breezy.
right.
Okay.
What is your favorite activity to do with your kids?
We just recently built a stage for my wife. We went to Home Depot and we bought a bunch of wood and nails and screws and glue and paint. My wife misses New York terribly. She's done Broadway and she misses the whole community, and we're out in LA. So we built her a stage so she can be on stage.
Nice.
So cute.
Yeah.
We like
All
doing stuff like
it's
that.
time for
Okay,
one more. I hope
feel
you
like
get
it's gonna land
hottest.
the hottest.
You know what? Even if you don't get hottest,
gonna
we're
Doesn't
gonna
matter.
ask
Just
hottest.
ask me the tough one. There you
Hottest. Okay. Do you dress up as a firefighter for your wife?
go. You know, when you're married with 2 kids, the whole sexy time thing sometimes gets pushed back because of schedules and kids running around the house. And so, yes, whatever I have to do to get my sexy time in, whether it's dressing up or trying new stuff or working out.
All right. Well,
Working
we're very
it out.
happy with that answer.
Whatever you do, a lot of baby oil and
A lot of baby
imagination.
oil.
I would let you go on and on, but we gotta go. All right, thank you so much for being
Thank
here,
you.
Boris.
Thank
You guys can catch Station 19 Thursdays at 9/8 Central on ABC. All right, so we move on to this. This is a really crazy story with a much happier ending. But what would you do if you had to die multiple times in order to live? For writer Heather Armstrong, a scary-sounding procedure that temporarily flatlined her brain was the only way doctors could pull her from the deadly edge of depression.
Okay, she details the experimental treatment that she says, quote, saved her life in her new memoir, The Valedictorian of Being Dead. In the book, she says, quote, I never planned suicide. All I knew is that I didn't want to be alive. Excerpt of the book appears in this week's issue of People.
Yeah, it's a very powerful story here. Armstrong has a history of depression, though she was pulled into debilitating darkness in 2015 that lasted for 18 months. Now, the mother of 2 struggled to balance single parenting. She divorced her husband in 2013. He moved more than 2,000 miles away. She was also working at the time and training for a marathon, so she was really dealing with a lot of things.
It's a lot to handle, and she then became afraid that her ex-husband would take away her daughters, Lita and Marlo, if he learned how seriously depressed she was. So Armstrong didn't seek professional treatment at first.
It was very scary thinking she could lose her kids. Now, she writes in her book that her lowest moment came when she broke down at the end of a date with a man she was getting her hopes up for, even though she didn't really feel a lot of chemistry with him in the first place. But she kind of convinced herself this needed to work or she would be lonely forever. Her breaking down in tears actually sent the date heading to the door. This was according to her in the book.
Yeah, it just sounds like a lot just kept piling on and she couldn't, you just burst, you know? When that happened, she actually fell to the floor and was bawling, and she called her mom, and she describes this as being swamped by a dangerous darkness. She remembers wailing, quote, please make it stop, I just want to be dead.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for people that don't understand depression, it seems like, oh, this is just a minor thing, just a bad date, but everything was piling up. It was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back.
You feel trapped.
Yeah, very trapped. Now, after the episode, her mom convinced her to see a psychiatrist who recommended her to Dr. Brian Mickey. Now, Mickey selected her to be just one of 10 people who underwent 10 burst suppression treatments that used the anesthetic propofol to flatline the brain for a short period, resulting in a kind of reversible death.
This is wild. I mean, Armstrong's mother and stepfather were there while she underwent the first procedure, but she reveals in her memoir that she was anxious and frightened, but not of dying. I was terrified that I would never stop feeling this way.
Now, so during the procedure, she was also given fentanyl, which was used to prevent headaches. When this took effect, she reveals in the book, every form in the room started melting. Someone's mouth stretched across the room and laughs. Teeth big as tree trunks grazed my face. She thought something is wrong. She screamed, but it came out as a whisper. I mean, she said her mother said the fear on her face had turned into horror, and then nothing. That sounds like the worst nightmare you could ever imagine. After the treatment, it took a terrifying 2 hours for Armstrong to wake up from the anesthesia.
I mean, I can't even imagine what her family was going through in that time. For the second treatment, 2 days later, Armstrong says Dr. Mickey eliminated the fentanyl, thinking it may have caused her hallucinations. Now, burst suppression therapy is still in the testing phase.
Yeah, so they're still figuring it out. It was during Armstrong's 5th of 10 treatments that she experienced a breakthrough. She felt happiness that she hadn't thought was possible. And later that day, she remembers listening to a favorite song, Homebody by Adorable. Felt like the first time she listened to the song, she felt happy, kind of on the other side of things.
Yeah, it's the light at the end of the tunnel, and Armstrong says that now her prognosis is really good. So it's a happy ending, ultimately. She continues to take medication and visits her psychiatrist every 3 months, and she also has the complete support of her boyfriend, internet company exec Pete Ashdown. She lives with him, 2 of his children, and her daughters, and loves life with her blended family.
Yeah, I'm really happy that this is coming out on the other side. She says, I feel really hopeful about the future. I'm madly in love, and my kids are healthy and happy. It really is good. She even admits that her brain is along for the ride, saying this, the best part about it is that my brain is in a place where I can enjoy it. I can enjoy the chaos. I can laugh at it.
It's a good feeling to get to that point.
When you get to the point, you're like, you know what? could be chaotic, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a part of life. It's like a roller coaster, up
Yes.
and down. You just throw your hands up and go for the ride. Now, the valedictorian of Being Dead is on sale, and for the full excerpt, pick up this week's issue of People on Stands Friday. Now, if you or someone you know is considering suicide, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK or go to suicidepreventionlifeline.org.
All right, let's check in on our question of the day. In honor of Beyonce's surprise album, we've been asking you to tweet us your favorite gifts of the Queen. I'm sure we have some good ones here.
Yeah. Oh my God,
yeah,
yes.
Bye, girl.
Bye, girl.
Well, Beyonce can be silly, which I
love her
appreciate.
so much.
Single ladies, that's pretty epic.
I'm not bossy, I'm the boss. Let it be known. That's 3 snaps when you do it.
She's just
classic.
So fierce. All right, we'll be back with another question of the day tomorrow. Tune in for that.
Okay, coming up tomorrow, Scandal star Tony Goldwyn is here chatting about his thrilling new Netflix series Chambers and his current role on Broadway.
Plus, Blue Blood star Bridget Moynihan is filling us in on her new book called Our Shoes, Ourselves. It's about 40 women and the stories behind their favorite pair of shoes.
Can't
we love
wait
shoes,
for
so
that.
we love that.
Love it. Thanks for watching, and for now, we leave you with one last thing from Dom Felder.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Don Felder, and this is One Last Thing. You know, the last song that was stuck in my head was Hotel California. It's been there since 1975 when I wrote it. Welcome to the Hotel California. And I have to play it over and over and over. As a matter of fact, I wake up in the middle of the night playing that solo in my mind so I don't forget a single note of it. The last time I was starstruck was just a few days ago when I had to play Hotel California for Jimmy Page at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. My last family vacation was probably the trip to Epcot, where I took everybody down there and we went on all the rides and just had a ball doing that.